I looked at a video today of a man that's been married for 51 years. 51 years. It's a long time. And a lot of people will say, well, Anton, that man has been married for 51 years. He got a lot of wisdom. Let me say that again. He's been married for 51 years. 51. He has kids, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that he said he was about to be a great-great-grandfather. Yep, and he had a phenomenal career. He was a judge. He's still a judge. Practiced law. Made a good living his entire life. And guess what? He's filing for divorce. In the video that he made, old white man in the fourth quarter of his life, he said, I'm going home and I'm about to kick this bitch out. No lie, word for word, quoted it. He said, I'm about to go home. You know who I'm talking about, ABJ. He said, I got to get rid of this bitch. I got all of my Rolexes, Eric Howell. I never sold a watch. I never got rid of any of them. I still got everything. He said, I'm about to get rid of this bitch. He found out through a relative needing something, right? You know how you got a test to where somebody need a kidney or something like that. And he found out that his children wasn't his children. Married for 51 years. Shout out to Tyra. Married for 51 years. And he found out that his own children wasn't his children. None of the children that he had was actually his children. Had sons. Now, I know it's a lot of guys. They always say that, man, I want to have a son. Man, I want to have a junior or whatever. Have no clue who the father is. White man. Not a black man. White man. So let's first dispel the myth that this only happens within our culture. No, you just don't get to see it. You don't get to witness it. You don't get to that other side of the internet, so you're not familiar with what the complaints are. But these women have been doing men dirty for a long time. A long time. And you know what the worst part about it is? Because now, this is one of the reasons why they want us to shut up. This is one of the reasons why it's very, very difficult. Very, very difficult for me on the internet, because I could be a lot more politically correct. Oh, let me tell you something. I could sell water to a whale. I could sell rubber dog doo-doo and make $1 million. There is nothing that I cannot sell. There is nothing that I cannot convince you of. There is nothing. I am one of the greatest salespeople of all time. And that's all that being in corporate America is sales. You sell your child on why it's important for them to go to school and don't do drugs, or why they should stay away from certain environments or certain people or whatever. You sell your employees on why it's important for them to buy into the company vision. You sell your wife or your husband on why we need to go this way instead of that way, and you need to follow my vision, and I need you to buy in 100%. All you doing is being a salesman in everything that you're doing. We don't like the label of sales, but essentially that's what we do. We sell each other, but what gives it a bad name is snake oil salesmen or scammers or people that are trying to convince you to do something that's not in your best interest. And so when you see somebody that's trying to convince you of something, you automatically become skeptical unless they say something that's tickling your ear. Think about it. If it makes you feel good, you're much more likely to be a part of it. But conversely, even though I know what I can do in order to convince you, I'd rather pierce your heart instead of finesse your skin. Because if I rub your skin down, then it makes you feel better about the situation that you're already in. I'm trying to help you to understand that the situation that you're in is fucked up. And I also understand that I'm not for everybody. So if I want to convince you to buy something, then that's a completely different conversation than convincing you to do the thing that's in your own best interest. I can push you. I could sell you on it. I could take you this way and that way and then convince you. Or I could just tell you the absolute truth. And this is one of the reasons, and I'm going to bring it back for you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to paint this whole picture, and then I'm going to bring it all the way back to you, okay? This is the reason why I don't need game. This is the separation between the men and the boys. The boys tell you that they need game. Now they trying to rebrand it and they say Riz. He got that Riz. I don't need game. I never had game. It was never a requirement to get game in order to get what you want, because what I realize is that the truth is so much sweeter. And sometimes it even shocks people how truthful you are, because what I've also realized is that so many people are trying to finesse you, aka run game on you, that the truth is so much more attractive. So now, when I live my life like an open book, or when I tell you, hey, it's just this simple, or I'm a C student, or this is how women operate, or this is how men need to move, it's so simple that it almost seems like I'm telling you something that's just like, but in reality, this is the core of who we really should be in order to be successful. Whether it's relationships, whether it's finances, or anything, whether it's just how you're supposed to be living your life, the truth for me has always been so much sweeter. So I'm going to tell you my honest to God thoughts. Now, I think that you can communicate anything to anybody if you say it the right way, so you don't have to be super abrasive, but it depends on what result you're trying to get, right? Sometimes I know that you need to hear it raw and uncut, because some of you motherfuckers and some of you women have been cursed with beauty. Some of you women have been cursed with beauty. Did you know that that was a curse for some of y'all? Because your whole life you've been coddled. At every turn, somebody told you, or they moved differently based off of how they interpreted what you were based off of who you looked like, or what you looked like, or how you carried yourself, or whether you smell good. And they realized that, oh man, that's my weakness, or that's my superpower, because we superficial. But the minute that we break through the barrier and we can see through and we can see who you really are, it becomes a different type of translation. And then you wonder a lot of times, well, how come this woman that's so beautiful has never been able to lock down a man? And it's because she's been cursed with it. And we all have a curse. We all have a weakness. We all have something that we're trying to get over. And for most of us, it's a similarity. I need you to really rock with me tonight. I need you to really hear me. I need you to really understand what I'm trying to communicate to you tonight, because it's going to get a little bit deeper than you want it to be, but I really want you to understand it. And I titled it this way. That's so crazy and convoluted that got so many different messages in it, because there's so many gems. And when you rewind this and you relook at it and you have a conversation with yourself and you see that I took you that way and I took you this way, but then I brought you back to the core message, it's going to hit you a little bit different. It's almost like talking in parables. But it's so real.